Hello and welcome along to Extra Time as Real Madrid practically assured themselves of a place in the last 16 of the Champions League. The Whites recording a 2-2 draw in Turin against Juventus on Tuesday evening. Joining me in the studio to look back at that game, Mark Elkington, Fred O'Mell and Ralph Itzel. Mark, we've had 4 games in the Champions League, 10 points for Real Madrid, pretty much job done.
Well, absolutely, and this was the game that, you'd have marked in sort of red for danger out of all of the games in the league away to Juventus, so to come away with a draw. And then considering the way that the table's set now, it's got to be considered a great result. And also, you can look back on the history. They haven't won there in the last 5 visits there in the competition. I think 2-2 draws. Got to be very pleased with it. Absolutely,
a really good attacking display from Real Madrid once again, particularly in the second half. That combination, Freddie, of Bale, Benzema and Cristiano is working very well.
Yeah, in Spain we began to say that this is the BBC. Now it's fantastic, Have you seen what happened in the last 3 games? Real Madrid scored 12 goals, and the 12 goals have been created by the BBC. We see Benzema did not score, but he gave a very good pass to Cristiano for the first goal. Cristiano gave a pass to Bale for fantastic, We know, I want to say something about Bale. I'm falling in love with this guy. To tell the truth, I did not expect that he could be so good right now. I shouldn't say, I don't know, but 6 months, 7 months, 1 year to adapt to Spanish football. Pues no. Let's say the Spanish people, no. Bale is not yet physically 100%, but his scoring, his assisting is fantastic. We're so happy to be good.
Looking good, definitely looking good, Gareth Bale. So Real Madrid practically into the knockout stages, and that's good, Ralph, because they can go into these last 2 games in the Champions League without too much pressure.
Absolutely, and Ancelotti can give some players a break, maybe. Bale, for example, who now needs to run away because Frederick is in love with him, so he better...
Don't be jealous.
So it's obviously good. I mean, they want to assure the first place, which gives you a better position for the first KO round. But obviously takes pressure away, and it's all about saving up energy. Some players can rest, others can get a game who maybe don't play as much. That's always good for the ambience in the dressing room. So it's perfect, yes.
Absolutely right. Let's get the match report from Tuesday evening at the Juventus Stadium. Here's Andy Hall.
Real Madrid were held by Juventus in Turin in the 4th group stage game of the Champions League, during a match in which the lead exchanged hands twice. Cristiano Ronaldo, making his 100th Champions League appearance, was the first to go close for the visitors. Moments later, it was Gareth Bale who forced Gianluigi Buffon down low. But it was Juventus who had the upper hand for most of the opening half. For Iker Casillas, the biggest threat came from his own defenders. The keeper blocked from Pepe, and then Marcelo, both under pressure from Juve's forwards. Varane was adjudged to have brought down Paul Pogba just 3 minutes before half-time, and Arturo Vidal gave Casillas no chance from 11 yards, burying his spot kick into the roof of the net. Real Madrid were back level 7 minutes after the restart. Cristiano got the better of Buffon to add the Juventus stadium to his personal hit list, and equal Pipo Inzaghi's tournament record of scoring 8 goals in the first 4 group stage matches. Xabi Alonso came close to adding a second, only for his effort to crash against the bar. But just 60 seconds later, the visitors were ahead. Cristiano turning provider for Bale to open his Champions League account for Madrid with a ferocious strike. The lead lasted just 5 minutes. Martín Cáceres sent a deep ball into the box where Fernando Llorente was lurking, and the former Athletic Club striker rarely misses opportunities like this. It ended 2-2 on the whistle. Madrid remain unbeaten at the top of Group B, requiring just 1 point from their next outing against Galatasaray at the Bernabeu later this month.
Andy Hall with the match report there. Let's hear from Real Madrid's manager then, Carlo Ancelotti, who spoke at the post-match press conference.
Tenemos delantero con una velocidad increíble.
In terms of velocity, our attack is incredible. It's something which we will use now and again when the right moment arises. when there are open spaces out on the field. It's one of the virtues which we can use. But we didn't just play on the counter-attack, because later in the second half, we controlled the ball, and we were aggressive when we weren't in possession. I thought we played well throughout the whole of the second half.
Carlo Ancelotti speaking there at the post-match press conference. Now, he seemed to think it was a game of two halves. Real Madrid not really at the races in the first half, but much better in the second.
No, but it's normal, because the purpose was not the same. For Real Madrid, it was controlling the match, getting 1 point, it was enough, and Juventus was trying to survive in the Champions League. You know, in my opinion, it was a quite cool game for Real Madrid, because Real Madrid did his job during the three first games with 9 points in 3 games. Juventus had to run more, had to fight more because of their horrible situation in the group. It's normal to have in Turin more aggressive Juventus in the first part.
Well, I thought that Real Madrid was way too shy in the first part. I think they defended also too deep. There were phases when Juventus was very close to Casillas' goal. I didn't like the performance too much in the first half. I think the approach was much too shy for being Real Madrid. After the Juventus goal, all of a sudden the team seemed to be liberated. Immediately after the goal, they started. It was like, now we can at least attack.
But have you seen what happened during the first 10 minutes? The ball was only for Real Madrid.
The first minutes, okay.
The first minutes, the first minute was like this. You know, Juventus decided to attack because Real Madrid had to control the game. It was not more. You know.
No, I still think there's a slight problem we've seen in one or two of the recent games. There's this almost sort of Jekyll and Hyde thing. You know, it's finding a consistency across 90 minutes is still haven't quite got to yet. You know, they seem to have this sort of two phases of play. Like Ralph was saying, I tend to agree. I don't think the first half was that good, and you know, the players themselves spoke after the game, were saying that it wasn't that good a performance. But they managed to pick. You know, obviously the good thing is they're able to pick it up and then move on and take the game further on. It
was not very good because, I repeat, the one who had to fight was Juventus.
Obviously.
Yeah, but you also want to do something in the first half.
Yes,
I think Real Madrid had problems to construct football.
Because Juventus was playing.
We had the
Juventus was playing.
We had the three players up front, which obviously, if you give the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo, Bale or Benzema, they will make something out of it. But I didn't see any mixture between the three midfield players and the three strikers. I think it was
because of the middle of the camp of Juventus was very good.
I mean, we should remember that Juventus are Juventus. They are the Serie A champions. They are a very, very good side.
Well, I think
Real Madrid always lost there.
In the second half,
the last 5 visits, Real Madrid lost in Juventus.
But when Real Madrid played to their possibilities, we saw that Juventus is not as great as the name of the club.
Yeah, I disagree, my dear guys. You know, sometimes we have a problem. We forget that there is another team who has the right to play too, who has the right to score goals. You know, it was the big game of the Champions League this Monday, this Tuesday. It was a big game. Was Juventus Real Madrid?
No, absolutely.
2 weeks ago it was Real Madrid Juventus, and Real Madrid won. You know, you can't have the same attitude if you have won all the single match, or if you don't have won all the single match. It was the case of Juventus.
Juventus were much more motivated.
Juventus was obliged to win. Real Madrid was not.
No, I think all we're reflecting is a little bit what the manager and the players said afterwards. In that, you know, Xabi Alonso was almost playing like a third centre-back at times. He was sitting so deep, and I think it was when he sort of pushed forward and when the team pushed forward, you know, maybe because they had to chase the game a little bit more. Well, they showed actually they could dominate the game.
Well, let's hear from one of the players who was as involved as he always is. Cristiano Ronaldo got on the score sheet in his 100th Champions League appearance and afterwards spoke to the press.
Juventus.
Okay.
He said, okay.
No, we knew that it will be a difficult game. Juventus, they are in a bad moment because they need points, and we knew that they're gonna push a lot. That they try to score goals, but I think in the second half we give a good answer and we play better, and I think the result is fair.
So Ronaldo, a little bit echoing what you were saying, Freddie. That
no, the clever people say the clever people understand this.
So the clever
people
this
is part of the.
He did actually say in the second half we played better. So
that doesn't mean they played great in the first half.
It's a joke, gentlemen. It's a joke.
It's French,
but you understand the situation. You can't, you know, the situation, the context of the game. helps to understand what happened on the pitch.
Ronaldo got on the score sheet once again, a really important goal for him. He's just in the form of his life.
222 goals now for Real Madrid and 100 away
Yes.
from home. That's the decisive thing.
Away,
He scores
100.
He likes actually the fans protest against him. In Turin again, they were always remembering his mother. They wouldn't stop.
They were whistling.
They wouldn't stop, and so that motivates him extra. And he another great strike after a great Benzema pass.
These are, just to tell you what we're watching here, we are watching all 14 of Cristiano Ronaldo's Champions League goals in the calendar year of 2013. The first player ever to score 14 goals in the Champions League in a single year. We've still got 2 games left as well for him to add to that tally. He's just been in remarkable form in this competition.
I think what he was shown in that little clip where he was speaking there, the way he looks so sort of relaxed and happy, doesn't he? You know, he seems to be enjoying himself, and you know, just look at the last 2 or 3 games. I mean, he's in devastating form. I mean, he's now scored 8 goals in the group stage to equal, you know, the most number of goals ever scored in group stage, and there's still 2 games to go. So he's surely going to break that.
Dear Mark, as a clever man you are, you said the right word. He's happy. Happiness helps you to be better in your job. Being a football player, being a journalist, being a worker, being whatever. When you're happy, things are better in your life. And Cristiano Ronaldo is really happy. He feels loved in Madrid. And it's true that the fans of Real Madrid changes their opinion about him. They know that he is the one, that he is the most important player, that is always answering with goals, you know. People insult him, he answers with goals. You know, it's perfect. He is right now the perfect player for Real Madrid. And the best player in the world, no doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you don't have to convince me, Fred. Absolutely, I'm agreeing with you there. Just looking at some of these goals, also what strikes me is that his versatility. I mean, left foot, right foot, one-on-ones, headers. He scores all different types of goals now. He's a complete player.
It makes him more dangerous. That's why I don't want to talk about Messi because he's in a bad mood and we don't have to use this. But Messi is not so complete than Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is able to score so many different kind of goals. Messi, it's always the same thing.
But I remember the press conference after that game against Manchester United. The first goal that he scored in 2013 was that towering header against Manchester United. And Alex Ferguson, who was manager of the time, said no other player in the world could have scored that header. The leap that Ronaldo has on him, the distance that he gets off the ground,
staying in the air.
It's prodigious. I mean, that's I think one of the interesting things. I mean, we've seen him, crash in some fantastic free kicks. I mean, before the game, we were just looking at some of the goals, because Real Sociedad are next up. I mean, he scored an absolutely stonking free kick against Real Sociedad last season, didn't he? But I mean, I think it'd be quite interesting if somebody else, for example, if Bale starts taking some of the free kicks. I mean, Ronaldo's so powerful Ronaldo's so powerful at taking free kicks. But I mean, if you have him in the area for, as an aerial threat with somebody else taking the free kick, it's just as dangerous.
And Ronaldo continues the great tradition of the number 7 in Real Madrid. We had Juanito, Butragueño, Raúl, and now we have Ronaldo. The number 7 is a special number for Real Madrid. And,
magic number.
He honors it, big time.
He absolutely is, and I think it's what you were saying, isn't it, Freddie, that he's so happy, he's enjoying himself, and he's leading the team. He's the leader on the pitch, and everybody seems to respond to that. And
there is nobody's jealous. Nobody can be jealous. To be jealous, you have to be so good at him that it's impossible. No, because everybody in the dressing room loves Cristiano Ronaldo. First of all, because he's a kind guy, he's a nice guy. Inside the dressing room, I talk to Karim, for example. Karim loves him. He says it's a great guy, helping the others, helping the young people, helping the young players, talking to them. It's not typical star. We don't talk to the others. No, he's one He's one player in the dressing room. He feels like the other. He's better than everybody, but he's a so good person. Then everything is easier with him in the dressing room.
Is he going to help Real Madrid win the Decima? That's the big question.
Yes, this is the year because we have a fantastic coach. We have the fantastic BBC. It's true. Where you have now a good Benzema. You have a new player, Bale. After 2 months, what he's able to do. Can you imagine what he will be able to do in March, April, in quarter-final, semi-final of Champions, I think this is not the year or never, because we will have other occasions, but let understand me, the year or never.
Absolutely. Nice and positive. Right, that's all we've got time for on this edition of Extra Time. Don't forget, you can get involved in the programme. Tweet us your thoughts using the hashtag ExtraTimeRM. You can also subscribe to the official Real Madrid YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Adios.